Hello ladies, I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I'm coming to you from the airport here in Indianapolis. I am here for today, flying home later this evening from Summit, Coach Summit 2019, and excited to be heading home to see my boys. But before I do that, I wanted to come on here and share a little bit, just a little bit of my heart. I'm going to try to keep it short. But when I was doing my quiet time in our Airbnb this morning before we got packed and headed out to come to the airport, I went back to Deuteronomy 1, 6, and 7, and that we had talked about briefly here at the summit before our Upgraded Alliance team dinner. And I realized that I forgot about verse 8. And I'm sure it was partly mommy brain, partly exhaustion brain, partly that we were kind of rushed and it was a weird environment to even be sharing my heart there. But I really wanted to circle back around to it before it got away from me. So I'm going to read again, and I'll post a screenshot of my Bible from this morning so that you can read it as well. So as we talked about the other night, verse 6, again, this is Deuteronomy 1. Verse 6 reads, "The Lord our God said to us at Horeb, 'You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Break camp,'" that's verse 7, "and advance into the hill country of the Amorites." Then I skip up to verse 8, and it says, "See, I have given you this land." And when I was reading that, kind of circling back around to that this morning to close out my time here at Summit, I was like, oh my gosh, Amy, you totally forgot to talk about verse 8, which I think is just as important as verse 7. I kept circling back around to break camp, it's time to move on, let's break camp. But verse 8 is very important. So it reads, "See, I have given you this land." And what that means to me is that if coaching, if helping others, if being a part of this movement that we are so fired up about, if spreading the idea of inviting Christ into your health and fitness journey and helping women and men live their healthiest lives, their most fulfilling lives, whether it's by pursuing just their health and fitness or pursuing their healthiest lives ever and building a business to help bless their families financially, if that is what God has for you, it's already been given to you. Verse 8, "See, I have given you this land." It's already done, so to speak. We just have to do the work to get there. And so I know for me, I've been very outward, especially of late, about how I know that this is what the Lord has for me to do. The reason I know that is because I was released from years and years of strongholds with food and body image and shame whenever I committed to these solutions that we have with the amazing superfoods, with the nutrition options I use to be mindset, and with the exercise programs that are totally doable and incredibly results-based. So although my journey hasn't been perfect, I've gone up and down a little bit on the scale, and of course I still struggle saying no to the ranch style Doritos. It looks so much better, and I no longer feel in bondage, and I have the tools to not feel like I'm completely crippled. So that's why I know this is what I'm called to do. I think that it was Chris this weekend at one point that said, we have these solutions, we've made this amazing progress, and we've been so blessed. It would be absolutely selfish for us to keep it to ourselves. And I'm not going to keep it to myself. I want as many people as possible to be able to have the freedom that I have. And also, if they want the financial freedom that this business opportunity can offer, I want them to have it too, and I want to help show them how to get there, and I want to get myself there. So again, I firmly believe that this is what the Lord has for me to do. I find joy in it. It's amazing. I added up the other day, just within Team Fierce Fit and Faithful, we've lost, I'm sure it's more than this, but from what folks have shared and reported out, we've lost over 400 pounds since Team Fierce Fit and Faithful began. And I'm not only about the numbers, I'm more about what happens inside when those pounds come off, but the numbers are a good indicator of progress. And so I believe I'm called to it. So verse 8 speaks to me, because what it says is that it's already there. It's already done. It's what he wants. See, I have given you this land. He's given it to me, and now I need to do the work and use the resources and the skills that I have or that are at my disposal to make it happen. And I'll make sure to keep him with me every step of the way. So let me circle back around to this. Again, the Lord our God said to us at Horeb, "You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Break camp and advance into the hill country of the Amorites. See, I have given you this land." I think verse 8 to me reminds me a lot about what we heard this weekend about affirmations. Especially I think of a time at the pre-conference seminar. I think it was Moira that talked about speaking things as if they've already happened. Like, I am debt-free. I am free of student loan debt. I am a 5-star Diamond Elite coach. I am a mom who gets to go to every basketball game because I set my own schedule. Those kinds of things. So that reminded me a lot of the affirmations and speaking things so that our brains and our hearts and our spirits begin to know that they're true and that they can happen and that they will happen. So I have a question for you. I would ask you in verse 6 where the Lord has said, "You have stayed long enough at this mountain." What mountain have you stayed on long enough? What mountain? What mountain have you stayed on? One that you need to get off of, that you need to move. Because the next thing says, break camp and advance into the hill country. So break camp. Take the tent down, get uncomfortable, put all your stuff away, put the lantern away, put out the fire, get your food packed up, get your stuff ready, and let's get away from being comfortable in this cozy place where we found ourselves. And even if we're not happy there, comfort can be cozy, even if it's not happy, because it's familiar, right? So I ask you, what is your mountain that you've stayed on too long? From where, from what, from whom do you need to break camp and move? I love the Old Testament. It just really, the Lord is like, and then trust that just like Scripture tells us, just like he spoke to Moses and his people when they were at Horeb, he told them, "Go, and I will give the land to you. It's already yours." Believe that this is already yours. We've been given the tools, we have the resources, we have each other to be able to do whatever we want with this opportunity, whether big, small, or anywhere in between. It's already ours because we're doing his work. We're out there spreading his love and doing work for the kingdom. I can tell you for me, where have I stayed too long? I've stayed comfortable in my, it's hard to say. I've gotten comfortable in kind of being uncomfortable, I guess is the right way to say. I am not happy with the number of people that I'm reaching and helping. I'm not proud of the pace in which I'm growing Team Fierce and Faithful, but because of the season of life I've been in, and I have given myself grace for that, but also because I have always had way too many irons in the fire, and then I struggle with the self-doubt, and I think that's what it is as I say this out loud. I've gotten to a place where I'm just comfortable kind of doing the things and knowing that I'm inching forward without giving it my all. And so that's the mountain I've been on, the mountain of a little bit forward and then second guessing and questioning. So then the pace slows, and a little bit forward and then stopping and feeling like I need to apologize or explain what I'm doing. A little bit forward. So I'm gonna get off the mountain of self-doubt and spend some time here today writing down some specific visions and goals that I have for Team Fierce and Faithful to help people, help women and men. And then I'm just gonna move off of this mountain of questioning and self-doubt. I'm gonna break camp and move forward because the scripture tells us it's already ours. I'd love to hear any of your feedback. What mountain have you been on? What do you need to break camp from? Drop it in the comments below. I would love, love, love to hear it. And of course, I want to pray over it for you. If you were here at Summit with me, then thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here with me. And I'm super excited to see what this next year has for us. If you weren't here at Summit with me, mark your calendars for July 15th through 19th of 2020, because you're coming with me. We're going to New Orleans, and we're going to do this together. This is a movement, and the more ladies and gentlemen that are in this movement helping, the more souls we can reach. Love you all so much. Bye.